Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
Rob. Let's talk about some football.
Are you ready for some football?
Some Monday. Actually, it's not Monday football.
It's Sunday.
I got excited.
It feels really weird doing the recap show on a Sunday instead of a Monday like usual.
It really does. I really I want to do the Macho Man, just like, oh yeah, Monday Night Football.
Ooh, yeah.
But Sunday Night Football it didn't even hit yet. Yeah.
I know. It feels weird. It feels like we're doing this early. We should go to bed and come back in 24 hours and redo this.
Yeah, well, we can't do that because we got to talk about our game tomorrow night.
I know. It's
ridiculous. It's like, my God, everyone out there in podcast land and that follows us live, we'll be live tomorrow night around 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Whenever the game's over.
To talk about our team. But let's talk about the teams that played today.
Well, before that, real quick, we are going to go over for you guys here all the information as far as our game and the injuries going on, because there are a ton of injuries here. So, ton. So first off, on our own game here, on our squad, we have the injuries. Obviously, Andrew Thomas is going to be out. If you guys haven't heard, he's out for the second game in a row. Ben Bernison should be good to go. Saquon Barkley is listed as being doubtful for the game. Everybody, yeah, probably not. Everybody's been listed ever as doubtful for the games in this new current regime here. Has always not played. So don't expect him to be in the game here. Do expect Azeez Ojulari, because he is not even on the injury report here right now. Do expect also to see Evan Neal. We talked about him having the injury there towards the end of the game last week. So for the most part, we are pretty healthy. We're just missing two very key components there on offense, but just two injuries. Yeah. On the Seahawks side,
Wolf is right.
Yeah. Guys,
Hawk, I guess.
Injuries are not an excuse this week. Point blank. Injuries are not an excuse. Out for the Seahawks, Artie Burns, cornerback. Trey Brown, cornerback. Doubtful for the game, Charles Cross, their tackle. Their corner / secondary is kind of a jack of all trades kind of guy. Kobe Bryant, also doubtful. Questionable for the game, Draymond Jones, defensive end. Derek Hall, linebacker. Noah Fant, tight end. Evan Brown, center. Will Deasley, tight end. So yeah, guys, they have a ton of injuries there. They make us look healthy. There is no excuses, point blank. There is no excuses. We have to come in here.
You can't compare Noah Fant to Barkley.
No. But we can compare the fact that both their tackles are probably going to be out for the game, because Abraham Lucas is also out for on IR right now. So both their starting tackles probably out of the game. Their center is questionable for this as well. Plus, one of their guards is also battling an injury, but he's expected to play. Their offensive line looks worse than ours right now. It's basically backups all around.
Saying a lot.
Yeah, backups all around. So, granted, we're missing our star running back, but
I expect to hear Gino say explicit words as
I'm expecting
Sexy Dex goes in to sack him.
I'm expecting to see tons.
My God.
I'm expecting to see tons and tons of passing yards, and if it's not, then I hope all of a sudden we see, Brian Daboll going like this. He's got to go like this again, because
he better. Yes,
something's got to give. Not only they have the injuries we just talked about on their secondary, but I saw this interesting stat. Julian Love, ex-Giant, there is leading the league in yards allowed on coverage.
Woof.
So yeah, guys, needs to be that breakout game for Darren Waller. This needs to be that game that all of a sudden High gets open down the field and gets the ball thrown multiple times. This has got to be that game, guys. So again, we will see you guys tomorrow night post game to go over everything there. Let's go over the games today, though. Oh yes, the games. Now, before we start with today's, obviously, we always give you guys the quick rundown in case you've been stuck under a rock for a couple of days on Thursday night. Lions and Packers here. Lions won 34-20. Packers were down 27-3 at the halftime. Made an effort to come back, but that's kind of hard to come back being that far down. They just weren't able to make up that kind of points there. So Lions win. Lions are pretty much the king of the NFC North right now.
Yeah, they've been balling. No pun intended. Balling.
That's enough balls.
I didn't know. Balling.
Alrighty, it's time to go again to jolly old London.
Oh, let's go to London.
Pinky's out. I wasn't sure if you're sipping your tea or picking your nose there.
A little bit of both.
All right. Well, give us the news there, Rob.
All right. Well, you want to go to Wembley Stadium.
Wembley.
The last time anything happened in there was when Queen broke out the stadium.
Talk about the Live Aid show in '85. I think a lot of things have happened since '85. Considering I was 3 years old at the time, I'm pretty sure other things happened.
I wasn't even born at that time.
Well,
I was
you're young.
I was coming out of the womb at that time. But
I could make the joke there. I'm not going to make the joke. I'm not going to make the joke.
I'm
not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Don't do it.
Not going to do it. I'm not going to say that's the reverse of how things happen.
But the both offenses look terrible.
Terrible.
Jaguars win 23-7.
Yeah.
And they no offense could put it together. No defense could put it together. Let's get that right.
I mean, both offenses just looked horrendous. The Jaguars just took advantage of turnovers.
Yeah. And then you got Riller that was 19 for 30 for 31, 191 yards, one touchdowns. I made that plural.
One touchdowns.
Two interceptions and one fumble.
Yeah, that's a lot of turnovers there.
Yeah. B. Robinson, 14 carries.
I can't figure out if Bijan is like, every time I hear his name, if it reminds me of a dog breed or a mustard.
You just totally ruined his name for me.
Well, Bijan is the name of a dog, and Dijon is a mustard. So therefore, I hear his name, and I automatically, my head goes to one of those two things automatically.
Great. Now, every Sunday, I'm going to think about mustard.
Yeah.
And dogs.
A mustardy dog.
Granted, every Sunday, halftime, 6 o'clock, 6:30-ish, I take my dog out. I have to walk the dog. I live in a complex.
Not a Bijan.
Yeah. Not a Dijon. Not a Bijan.
Anyway, had a Bijan too.
Yeah, he had a touchdown.
He did?
No, he did not. I apologize.
I was going to say, wait a minute, where did this touchdown come from? Did you watch a different game than me?
No, he just had 105 yards, and he also had 5 receptions for 32 yards. Smith had 6 for 95.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence.
It's amazing that Jonnu Smith has become like the better tight end in that system than Pitts, when Pitts is like the one with all this talent, supposedly.
Everyone, especially with all fantasy, everyone wants to get a hard on for Pitts.
I don't know if they just can't get him involved, or they just don't know how to use him, or he's not as good as people think. I'm not sure what to take.
I'm beginning to think he's not as good as everyone thought he was going to be. Because coming out of college, he was supposed to be the guy.
Yes.
He was supposed to be the next Travis Kelce.
That's why you don't draft a tight end high. The best tight ends are in the 4th round, like Travis Kelce.
Amen.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had 95 yards off 6 receptions. Trevor Lawrence threw for 30 times, complete 23 of those 30 times for 207 yards and 1 touchdown.
That was the longest way of saying he's 23 of 30.
Yes, I tried to stretch that out.
I noticed you did that.
Thank you for calling me out on that. Christian Kirk, 8 catches, 84
Actually,
yards.
confused with Captain Kirk.
Kirk here.
I'm giving it to the captain.
We're in London. Kirk, we're in
London calling.
Yeah, really, in his revenge game, if you will, a little bit, he went 38 yards, touchdown, and a big pass interference play.
Are you talking about Calvin Ridley with the revenge game?
Yeah.
He went right from Kirk to giving the stats of Ridley.
Oh, did you not hear me say Ridley?
I didn't hear you say Ridley at all. I'm like, wait a minute.
I apologize. So, really,
wait, Kirk was a Cardinal, wasn't he? I thought like,
yeah, Kirk was a Cardinal. Really was an ex-Falcon who was traded. Caw-caw! He went to the Jags, became a big old cat.
Yeah,
he didn't have that great of a game, but he did have a touchdown against.
No, listen. You get a touchdown, you get a big pass interference call, you get a couple of catches. It's not a bad game.
Yeah, he had a good game for the Jaguars.
Exactly. All right. Steelers and Texans up next year, which was a big surprise to me how bad this was here. Texans win 30-6. I know. I said to me, you picked this. One of the few picks you got right. Who said that?
We'll get to it later in the week.
Yeah, so Texans crushed them, like I said, 30-6. Texans just owned the Steelers the entire game. It was over based the second it started. Kenny Pickett had was 15 of 23, 114 yards, interception, left the game with a knee injury. Mitchell Trubisky went ahead and took over the game there. We got a Trubisky signing here. Trubisky sounds like some kind of like weird cracker that you put some cheese on. Like, I'll take some American cheese in my Trubisky, please.
It's terrible.
3 of 5, 18 yards. Najee Harris all of a sudden had a good game. 14 carries, 71 yards. CJ Stroud totally embarrassing the Panthers every single week for not taking him like we all suggested in our pre-draft games shows that they should have. 16 of 30, 306 yards, 2 touchdowns, over 300 yards per game in all of his 4 games this season here.
He has been lights out this year.
Seriously.
Like, when he's been healthy, like when he's doing what he's got to do, he's been the draft pick.
Hey, we called it. We did. Yeah. We did call it that one. Now, so far, we were pretty actually spot on so far. We said that Bryce Young was too small. We weren't sure that he'd be any good. Hasn't really been much good. We said CJ Stroud would be very good. We thought he's the best quarterback coming out. He's been the best quarterback coming out. We said that Anthony Richardson was kind of hit or miss, getting boom or bust kind of guy. So far, he's been boom. But, again, we weren't wrong in that one. We said Will Levis is a monster. Mayonnaise should never be put in coffee. We were 100% right on that. Mayonnaise should never be put in coffee. So far, we're 100% dead on. Exactly. Nico Collins, another beast game for him there. 7 catches, 168 yards with 2 touchdowns. Dalton Schultz, we got a Dalton Schultz sighting there. Sergeant Schultz had 3 catches, 42 yards, and a touchdown. In his first game that I've seen him do anything basically since he left the Cowboys, but that's not a bad outing for him overall.
No. So it's good out for a tight end over there. Yeah. And we got the Rams and the Colts, and the Rams.
The battle of the sheep versus the horse.
29-20, if you will. The Rams won.
Not if we will. That was the score.
Yeah.
We don't get an option in this. It was the score.
No. That was the final score. And if you watch this game, it was a blowout in the first quarter, first half, if you will. But the Colts came back. But the Colts came back. It was 29 Rams, 20 Colts. Colts were down, but scored 15 in the fourth, which obviously made the game difference over there. Puka Nacua.
Puka.
And his first NFL touchdown, but he was also wide open. So
he was. He did get some good yak, though. He got like 10 yak yards that should get in, but he was left wide open.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson was 11 for 25, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 10 for 56 in rushing, 1 touchdown. The first QB to have a rushing touchdown in each of his first 3 starts.
Yes.
So
remember,
he made some NFL history.
Exactly. History.
Matt
Listen,
Stafford
for a
was
running
20.
quarterback, when you do something that people like Michael Vick, Lamar Jackson, and those kind of guys didn't do, you're doing something right. You're doing something right.
Exactly. I mean, the Colts, I did predict them to win this game, but they are an exciting team. And with that
I know
young
you did.
quarterback,
I know you predicted that.
yeah. And with that young quarterback, and he's exciting to watch.
He
And that
is.
defense will help him win more games.
That team
More
is
run.
playing a lot better than a lot of us expected, and I'm almost hating it to a certain degree because let's be honest, they choked last year on purpose to get a good draft pick to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I don't like that because we're almost rewarding them to a certain degree on that. But it is what it is. They're doing
it
good
is
this
what it
year.
is. Stafford was 27 of 48 attempts. He had 319 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kyrie Williams was 25 for 103 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's a good day for a running back when you're getting 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards.
Yeah, and our favorite namesake,
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
Let's not go there. Wow, it was like.
Listen, you told me to watch that Disney movie.
Did you watch Moana yet?
I watched part of it. Now I want to sing every time I hear his name, Puka Nacua.
I don't know why. Puka Nacua is not in Moana.
He's not a new one, but
You're welcome.
Anyway, he had 9 receptions, 163 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah. My God, he is one of the best wide receivers coming out of this draft.
So he's got the record now for most catches by a rookie wide receiver the first 4 games at 39. No other player has gotten over 30. That's how impressive his start's been.
He is Stafford. Literally went, here's my blanket.
Yeah.
Nacua. And gave it to him.
Imagine
when there's a safety blanket.
Imagine when they get Cooper Kupp back and see what happens there, and he's going to be even more open. It's going to be crazy. All right. We got the boring game here. The Bucks versus the Saints. It was a boring game. Let's call it what it is. Bucks win 26-9. Saints scored a field goal in the first quarter there, but after that, Tampa Bay just kept on scoring. They scored 14 in the second, and it was all over. Derek Carr, who was kind of surprising to start because of his shoulder injury, but did start 23 of 37, 127 yards. Maybe he shouldn't have started. Just saying. Alvin Kamara, 11 rushes, 51 yards. 13 catches. That's 13 catches. That wasn't a typo for 33 yards. That just shows you what was going on, why Derek Carr only had 127 yards. Because 13 of his 23 receptions went for 33 yards. That was Kamara's first game back from his suspension from that fight he had in Vegas like 15 years ago, however long ago it was. Baker Mayfield, 25 of 32, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Chris Godwin was the big receiver this week, 8 catches, 114 yards.
Coming up next, you got the Vikings going against the Panthers. Vikings win 21-13. The Panthers led the majority of this game, but the Panthers do what the Panthers do. They just can't hold that way. Yeah. Young fumbled in the fourth, which was picked up for a TD. And JJ got a second TD.
Oh, you can't stop the JJ.
Yeah, the JJ just kept going. Bryce Young went for 25 of 32, 204 yards. Adam Thielen.
He's got a nice little security blanket for that rookie.
Yeah, and he also sat on my bench this week as well as last week, who had 76 yards, 7 catches. Sam Franklin had the pick 6.
Yeah, that was on the 1-yard line, by the way. 99-yard return on that pick 6. That's
redunculous.
Yeah.
Which was fantastic because the guy, one of the guys I was playing in fantasy had Kirk Cousins, so that was fantastic for me.
Fantastico. With the finest Corinthian leather.
Yeah. Yeah, Kirk Cousins was 12 with 19, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Madison, 17 attempts, 95 yards. Cam Akers finally came out of his nothingness, if you will, if you follow fantasy.
Well, he's also on a new team, so I mean,
he is. I can't brush him under the rug, if you will, because I mean, Sean Vay also benched him.
Well, him and Sean McVay did not get along. That was pretty obvious from the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't know who to blame. I'm not there in the locker room, but it's pretty obvious those two did not get along.
I'm not. Yeah. There's no one to blame. But he had 40 yards off of 5 carries. First appearance since the trade. And then JJ had 85 yards, 2 touchdowns off of 6 attempts.
How crazy is that? Even when you somewhat, keep him contained with 85 yards, Justin Jefferson still scores 2 touchdowns against you.
He was just lights out.
He's a beast. Absolute beast, man. All right, we got Ravens versus the Browns. We thought it was going to be a pretty close game, but it was absolute blowout. Ravens 38, Browns 3. Partially because just a couple hours before the game, they called Deshaun Watson out with the shoulder injury, and the Browns just couldn't get any offense going whatsoever. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, the rookie out of UCLA, I think he was a 5th-round pick. He started the game for them. 19 of 36, 3 interceptions. Not good. Not good.
Yeah, that's how you lose a game.
Yeah, that's very Ryan Leaf-esque. Lamar Jackson in the day, 15 of 19, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, ran for 27 on 9 rushes, but then the 2 touchdowns as well. So 4 touchdowns overall for him. That's a beast day. Mark Andrews, 5 of 80 for 2 touchdowns there. Zay Flowers also making an impact again. 3 catches, 56 yards. And Zay Flowers just beasting, man. But think about that. 186 yards for Lamar Jackson. 80 of them from Mark Andrews. 56 of them from Zay Flowers. So 136 of his 186 yards out of 2 guys.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's pretty obvious he likes throwing to those 2 guys.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why I have Andrews.
Just saying, if you're an opposing defense and you want to stop Lamar Jackson from throwing the ball, there might be 2 guys you want to stop.
I mean, Zay, as a rookie, he's been lights out.
Oh, yeah. But wasn't for Puka, we were talking about him a lot more, probably.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, seriously. That's he's been pretty much consistently, not like crazy good, but consistently good, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So he's 4 games in now. He's got 244 yards. That puts him, if you want to do the laws of averages, just over 1,000 for the season if he keeps up this kind of pace. So that's not bad. He'll end up, if he's on this kind of pace as well, end up about 100 catches too. So that's a pretty damn good rookie season.
Yeah. Up next, we got the Bengals versus the Titans.
The Bungles.
The Bungles.
They're the Bungles again.
The buttholes.
Whoa, not the bung holes, the bungle.
Well, the Bengals were the bungholes because they lost.
Oh my gosh.
3-27 against Titans.
Close game.
It was. Someone had to win this game. Someone had to win this game.
Yeah.
But Burrow was 20 of 30 attempts. He had 20 receptions of 30 attempts for 165 yards. Mixon.
Wait, Burrow had 20 receptions?
Yes, he had 20 receptions. No, he threw for 20 completions. He threw for 20 completions. Joe Mixon had 14 carries for 67 yards. Jamar Chase had a good game. Wish he had a better game, but he had 7 catches for.
Well?
No, you got Jamar Chase. He sits there no matter what as a starter.
Yeah,
but 73 yards. Yeah. 73 yards off of 7 attempts. Ryan Tannehill had 18 completions out of 25 attempts, 240 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Derek the King Henry, who was also on one of my fantasy teams, got a buttload of points.
He got a ton of points.
He got a ton of points with 22 carries, 122 yards, a touchdown. He also caught a pass for 11 yards and a 2-yard touchdown off of a direct snap.
Yeah.
D-Hop.
So he ran for a touchdown, threw for a touchdown. That's a little mixing it up there. A little mixing it up.
No. Joe Mixon. Derrick Henry had a
No,
touchdown.
I know that. I said he's
running.
mixing it, not mixing. Mixing. Oh my.
D-Hop. Oh my.
Hip hop.
D-Hop.
Hip hop.
Hip Hop Anonymous.
Hip hop Anonymous. You always give him the easy ones.
D-Hop had 4 catches for 64 yards. Cincy though, you almost want to set an alarm for this team because like
it's time to hit the panic button.
Yeah, I stressed before they go to a slow start, but my God, do they make the playoffs?
There we go. We got it. That's the alarm.
Bengals get their first points and a field goal. So it's
shut out the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Somebody's got to stop doing it in Cincinnati. It's sad.
Like Joe Burrow, like is he more hurt than people are letting on? Like, cause
dude, if he's this bad, just let him sit for a while and heal up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you should have sat him started the season because you already know you start the season slow. But my God,
yeah, it's getting to the danger zone here to keep us up.
Highway to the danger zone. Danger zone.
Alrighty, on to the was expected to be pretty much the close game, the good game of the week here, and just definitely wasn't. The Dolphins versus the Bills.
Yeah, it's fair enough to say.
Just like trampled over the Dolphins here, put them into like a tuna net. It's 48-20 for the Bills there.
Tuna net, Jesus Christ!
So I went there. It's okay. It's okay. No Dolphins were harmed in the making of the tuna. So. What? It's okay. It's okay.
There's no dolphins in our tuna net. There's no dolphins in our tuna net.
Listen,
we're okay.
there are no dolphins or tuna to be offended. It's okay. Yeah. So after scoring 70 points last week, the Dolphins offense was basically kept in shallow waters, while the D couldn't stop the Bills whatsoever.
I think we both predicted that game.
We pretty much did. Tua was 25 of 36, 282 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Devon A. Chen, not A. Chain, because that's what we've been calling him, because that's what they called him in college, but he corrected everybody this past week and said it's A. Chan. So
he looks like a train running through everyone.
It's very small locomotive though. Very tiny. 8 carries, 101 yards. Not a bad ratio there. 2 touchdowns, 3 catches, 19 yards. Tyreek Hill, 3 catches, 58 yards. Jalen Waddle, 4 catches, 46 yards. So did a pretty decent job of keeping those 2 guys under wraps there. Josh Allen was definitely not kept under wraps there. He was 21 of 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. Also ran for another touchdown as well. Stephon Diggs also not kept under wraps. 6 catches, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gabe Davis, 3 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown. And I think it's safe to say the Bills right now are the king of the AFC East. We'll see how it runs out the rest of the season, but that throne has been officially taken.
That might be one of the baddest divisions in the league.
Yeah,
when I say baddest, I'm not saying
means
they're
like
terrible.
The version of bad.
That is a good division.
Yeah, like it's like the bad is good. Like it's hip to be square.
Yeah, it's hip to be square. Talk about terrible games.
Horrible. This was a good game. Actually, this was a good game to watch. As I said,
it was a good game. We both called
if you like bad football, this is the game for you.
No, talk about terrible games. You had the Broncos going to the Bears.
That's what I'm saying.
Horrible. The Broncos win 31-28. The Bears just can't get it together. I don't know. Justin Fields was 28 of 35 yards.
They can get it together. They don't want to get it together. Listen to the gnome. Listen to the gnome. Bears wanted to lose. The gnome knows it's not just for saving money under travel.
I mean, the Bears are in control of most of the game. But just like the gnome said, they just wanted to lose this game. The Broncos finished the game 24 answer points. It was tied 28-28. The Bears went on fourth down instead of going for a field goal. And
they were on the Broncos 18.
Yeah.
This would have been like a 35-yard field goal.
It just didn't make sense. This whole game didn't make sense. It blew my mind as I watched this game. It blew my effing mind. Because Fields, 4 touchdowns. Justin Fields had 4 touchdowns. Justin Fields had 335 yards. He also threw a pick, and he also ran for 25 yards. Kyler Herbert was 18 for 103 yards. DJ Moore, who I had started in my fantasy, which luckily for me, had a great game with 8 receptions, 131 yards, and a touchdown.
Touchdown!
And their tight end, Kemet, was on fire in this game. 7 receptions for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I realized I forgot to give you the Broncos stats as we're looking at this. This is what happens when we do this quick here. Russell Wilson, 21 of 28, 223 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jaleel McLaughlin had 7 carries for 72 yards. Jerry Jeudy led the receivers there with 3 catches for 52 yards. Yeah, this was a game that the Bears should have won easily. This is a game that
it's also a game where the Broncos should have won easily, but
I feel like if we don't see like a headline tomorrow morning, Bears fire a head coach, then that just cements the fact that they are officially the Colts of 2023 and they want to get the first overall pick.
I mean, they won. They're not going to fire anyone.
The Bears?
Yeah.
The Bears lost.
The Bears aren't going to fire anyone.
They should.
They should.
Fire away.
Fire.
Fire. All righty. On to the Beavises versus the Buttheads, the Commanders versus the Eagles here. Very close game, as Rob and I called. A lot of people thought this would be blowout. Rob and I did call this one, both of us, that the Commanders would play them well. They always do. Eagles 34, Commanders 31. Let that sink in for a second. The Eagles, everybody said was a great defense. Going to be an amazing defense this year again. Gave up 31 points to the Commanders and Sam Howell. The same exact team that gave over 300 passing yards to Mac Jones week 1. I'm just saying. Eagles defense, not so elite anymore. DC had a slight lead for most of the game. Eagles got the lead in the third quarter, and then it went back and forth for a little while. Commanders actually tied the game on a touchdown to Dotson to end regulation. Literally like 1 second left when the play went off. That's how close this game was in the end. Eagles got the touchdown. I got the field goal in the overtime that'll win it. Sam Howell on the day, 29 of 41, 290 yards and a touchdown. Also ran for 40 yards on 6 rushes. Scary Terry McLaurin, 8 catches, 86 yards. Jalen Hurts, 25 of 37, 319 yards there, 2 touchdowns. A.J. Brown had a beast of a game, 9 catches, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 7 catches, 78 yards.
That's it? Just only 78 yards?
That's still pretty damn good. I know it's not good compared to 175 yards by Brown, but that's what Brown can do for you. It's UPS does, okay?
What can Brown do for you? Talking to them next, we got the Raiders against the Chargers. The Raiders. The Raiders.
I knew you were going to do it.
The Raiders.
You can't help yourself.
I can't help it. Damn it.
I can't help myself.
But the Raiders.
You know what, though? Before we do that, though, because we're not going to go into the 4 o'clock games. Let's read. We got a couple comments here. We'll pay the bills, and then we'll get to the 4 o'clock games here.
Let's go. Boom.
Raphael, what's up, man? He's in the house.
What's
Hello,
up, Raph?
Rob and Drew. Good to see you again, man. Marley says, hi. And she
Hi,
says,
Molly.
I'm only from Brazil. And that's fine. We're only from the US.
Yeah.
So we're also just from one country. You're good. Welcome. I'm curious if you're still in this section, though. How popular is the NFL in Brazil here? Because that's one thing you don't hear about Brazil really with the NFL. So you hear with more with Europe, a little bit in Central America. So I'm kind of curious how popular it is.
It's not the right football, I guess.
Well, listen, it's they probably call it American football down there. I assume like everybody else does this in other countries here. All right, so let's get the bills paid. And we'll go after the 4:00 games here.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All righty, on to the 4:00 games. Go with your Raiders.
The Raiders, without their starting quarterback, Jimmy G was out. They lose 17-24 against.
So you do the whole game in your Berman voice.
I
Whoop,
don't think I can
whoop,
do that.
whoop.
I can see if we can do that. All right, the Chargers lose. The Chargers win. Sorry.
By the way, you smokes, Rob.
Yeah. Oh, geez, all these parliaments.
Parliaments. Wow. I think Chris Berman is more of a Marlboro man.
He might be a Marlboro Light guy. Anyway, the Raiders pull out
Marlboro Light. Wow, I think it's pretty obvious Chris Berman's never had anything light in his life.
Yeah, definitely Reds guy. But yeah, this game was over by halftime. Like there was no doubt about it. The Chargers scored 17 extra points. The Raiders were diving close at the end of the ball with the interception. Chargers just they dominated this game.
It was one of those games that just felt close that wasn't close. That's what it boils down to. I mean, it's just,
and it's also a divisional game, so
yeah.
Divisional games always seem probably closer than they should be. O'Connell was 24 of 39 with 238 yards, 1 interception, 3 fumbles. Woof. Yeah. Josh Jacobs, this guy who wanted to get paid big time last year, only had 58 yards after 17 attempts.
But wow. Why are you disrespecting the man? Okay. That's 60 yards more than he had 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. He has not been putting up. He has not been doing what he did last year. The man wanted to get paid, and what is he at this point? After 4 weeks, what he 250 yards, 300 yards, 300 yards would be nice.
I gotta look it up. He's at 166 yards for 4 weeks.
Wait, what?
He's at 166 yards through 4 weeks.
Oh, so I doubled
with a 2.7 yard per carry average.
Trying to be nice. I doubled that. So yes, 58 yards, 17 attempts, 1 touchdown.
He's on pace for like 600 yards. He'll be fine. Which
is a great backup. He also caught 8 receptions for 81 yards. Devontae Adams.
There we go. Kudos to the man. Okay, there we go.
He was on pace.
Total yards. He had a good game. Game.
Devontae Adams was right there with him with 8 catches, 75 yards. Justin Herbert was a 13 for 24, 167 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, which is not just Herbert's stats, but it's also a divisional game.
He didn't have to do much though.
No, he didn't have to. Palmer was.
Was it Robert Palmer?
Josh Palmer.
You're gonna have to face it. You're addicted to love.
Anyway, 3 catches.
Where did he find all those women that looked the same?
That's a good question.
I'm serious. I want to know this thing because they all look pretty much alike, and not just because they dressed alike, had the same slick back hair, had the same dress, the same lipstick, everything. But it was almost kind of creepy. It's like that man had a fetish. You know what his type was.
Yeah.
Just
It
saying.
was clear cut in that video.
Pretty obvious what his type was.
Talk about their cut. Mac 6 sacks.
Mac the knife over there.
Dude was slicing it.
Speaking of Mac the Knife, you know that song Mac the Knife, obviously. Have you ever looked at the lyrics?
No.
Okay, so I saw a TikTok of this about how nasty the lyrics were. And I'm like, no, this is like some like do 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 do, like like this, like some 1950s thing, Okay, let me just give you real quick some of the lyrics in the song.
You had this ready, didn't you?
No, as I started doing that, I pulled it up. So now on the sidewalk, whose sunny morning, lies a body just oozing life, eek. It's someone sneaking round the corner. Could that someone be Mac the Knife? There's a tugboat, down by the river, don't you know? And you know that line. Everybody knows that part. But the next part after that, where a cement bag just dropping on down. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that cement bag is just there for a weight, dear. 5 will get you 10. Old Mackie's back in town.
Wow.
I have never looked at the lyrics of that song before that TikTok I saw. Like, oh my god, this whole song is about killing somebody, dumping the body in the water, getting away with it. And then towards the end of the song, they start giving the list of people that have disappeared.
That's terrible.
Yeah, that's terrible indeed. Terrible.
Terrible.
Anyway, back to Klumac. Back to Klumac there. Yeah, totally domination. He tied for the second most sacks in a single game in NFL history. That's how. Yeah, I mean that's just like woo. That's you know what it reminded me of when that was happening. Reminded me of OC when he had 6 sacks against the Eagles those years ago.
Memories.
Remember we used to beat the Eagles? Those were good days.
Yeah. It's been.
I did it. I said it. Yeah. It's okay. Anyway, on to the game that was going to be a blowout. We all knew it was going to be a blowout. And guess what it was? A blowout. Crazy. Cardinals versus the 49ers here. 49ers win 35-16. I actually was more of a blowout than I expected it to be. I thought the Cardinals at least keep it somewhat close there. And they kind of did. They kept it close until the fourth when the Niners scored 14 unanswered points overall. But, I mean, the Niners were always in control. You had Joshua Dobbs, 28-41, 265 yards. 2 touchdowns. You got to wonder what's going to happen with him because I feel like he's a guy that nobody expected to do anything basically because he hadn't his whole career. And he's actually kind of held his own for the most part there.
He's been better than.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The bottom 10% of the NFL. Well,
he is at the very least going to be signed up to be a good backup going forward the rest of his career. Hollywood Marquis Brown, 7 catches, 96 yards. Michael Wilson, 7 catches, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brock Purdy, look at this completion percentage, 20 of 21. It's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, Purdy
eat your heart
also.
Eat your heart out, Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
283 yards and 1 touchdown. Christian the Beast McCaffrey had just a killer game overall. Had 20 carries, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns. I bet he was on your fantasy team. Threw another 7 catches, 71 yards, and 1 touchdown. So another 4 touchdown player here this week. Brandon Ayuk coming back from his injury, 6 catches, 148 yards on the day. It was just pure domination by this team overall there. So yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Going to one domination game to the next. You're talking about
this is the nation of domination.
I don't want to celebrate this game at all, but
but honestly, I'll objectively say kudos to them because this is a statement game after a big loss.
Yes, 100%.
Now I'll say also F you Cowboys. Okay, I had to get it.
There you go. Cow pukes. John, if you're out there, that's to you. Cow pukes win 38-3 against the Patriots. The Patriots they weren't in this game whatsoever.
It's like
I
when
don't know
Alabama starts off against East Carolina Christian Polytech University.
I don't know where Bill Belichick was in this game. I think he
Did you
was
see
at
his
home.
face? At some points, he was like this, like he was going like literally covering his face, as if he was like hiding like an ostrich.
This is what I got to deal with. Like that's who he was.
Well, no, he changed his quarterback because he realized he couldn't deal with him anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mac Jones was 12 of 21 with 150 yards and 2 interceptions, and he lost a fumble.
Same Mac Jones that had 300 yards against the Eagles. Just proving my point from before again.
Yep, and Zappy, who is
Bailey Zappi.
Bailey.
The Zappy man can.
Who was thrown in there for 57 yards, 4 completions off of 9 attempts. Dak threw for your attempts. He completed 28, 261 yards, 1 touchdown. Cooper Rush.
Went in for different reasons.
What?
Went in for different reasons than Bailey Zappi did.
Yeah. Cooper Rush had 2 attempts, 2 completions, if you will. 20 yards.
Ratio.
Yeah. 2 for 2. That's 100%. Good for him.
Yep.
Ferguson was 7 catches, 77 yards, 777. That's like the Domino's deal.
Yes.
If you will.
It's good to see on a casino.
Yeah. Vander Earth returned a fumble for a touchdown.
Vander Earth. The third Esquire.
I feel like we should
be for the long line of Vander Earths.
Some sweet chocolates. Let's go for a return to touchdown. Yes.
They have been serving Wiener Schnitzels for generations. It sounds like such like a proper Bavarian name.
It is a beautiful Eastern European name, I have to say.
No, he's clearly from Poland.
Eastern European. Yeah.
Kidding, he's not from Poland.
But Bland returned interception for a touchdown, 2 interceptions on the day. So
yeah, that was just bad.
They were missing Diggs, but I guess they weren't missing Diggs that much.
Well, Bland's pretty good. I hate to give him credit, but he's more of a slot guy, but he's been working on the outside ever since Diggs went out. And just, part of the problem was Mac Jones was doing what you don't do. And besides just intercepting, getting the ball intercepted, what he was doing was he was going off to one side, throwing across from the right to the left side. You don't do that in football because the ball takes so long to get there that somebody will go ahead and step out in front of it. And that's what Bland did. Stop it, Mac. Stop it. You're supposed to be the guy that doesn't lose the game.
He threw to the wrong team. Gotcha.
Well, he's the guy. He was the guy coming out of college. Everybody's like, he's a safe pick. He's not going to lose you the game. We don't know if he's going to win you the game, but he's not going to lose you the game. Today, he lost you the game because he sucked.
Oh, he was god awful.
God awful.
So bad.
He's gonna make Belichick retire.
There's a strong possibility of that.
Yeah, I mean,
either that or he gets dropped real fast.
If not, just because he's like 70 and just tired, but
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, that's our Sunday, and talk about some weird matchups, weird games overall. I mean, the games that you think like the Bills and the Dolphins are going to be great, not so great. The ones that people were saying was going to be bad, like the Broncos versus Bears, probably the best game all freaking day. Commanders and Eagles staying close. The Raiders actually being closer than people expected, and Khalil Mack saying, no, not in my house.
No.
Doing a Dikembe Mutombo on us there. But yeah, I mean, 4 o'clock, that's the big issue. 4 o'clock sucked. Let's be honest. Let's call it like it was. The NFL games, 4 o'clock sucked. You had blowout after blowout after blowout. The only one that was even somewhat close was that Raider-Charger game, but we all knew the Raiders were not going to win. We all knew it. But the 1 o'clock games was nice. They're very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, guys.
Football.
We will see you guys again tomorrow night. As soon as the Giants and Seahawk game is over, we will be here live giving you guys our instant reaction there. So check on in. Best way to do that is, of course, to go ahead and like the page. Follow us. We're usually live on Facebook, YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. And Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile. And for some reason, Twitter has not been allowing us to actually go live on there. So we've been just putting the link up. So even if you usually follow us on Twitter, the link will be there. I got to figure out why Twitter doesn't like us anymore. I don't know why.
Because you keep calling Twitter, it's X.
X, I don't care. Listen, screw you, Elon. Okay, you suck. Now we'll never go live there again.
Yeah. Let's say we're banned forever. Thanks, Drew.
Shadow banned. Anyway, we are of course live always on like I said, those platforms there. But if you prefer audio, we're on afterwards, usually the next day on Spotify, the Apple Podcast, Amazon, iHeartRadio, all the big ones there. We're always on. So appreciate you guys listening in. Hope you guys enjoy the games here today. We'll see you guys again, like I said, tomorrow night, or it could be tonight if you're listening to us on Monday on the audio land there. So as always, Giant fans,
go G-Man!
Go G-Man! Whoop them Seahawks!
G-Man.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support. If you made it this long, you must have enjoyed it. So I am sure you have followed us on all the social media platforms. Of course, you have subscribed to the show on your favorite app as well and given us a top rating. Right? Right? Right?
Thank you to those who have signed up for our silver gold levels of membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.